Good evening, sir. This is my group T, and we are going to present about our assignment one. And my name is Jogashini, and this is my group member Tan Wei Chun. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'm going to explain about our client business model. So it will be e-commerce. So basically it's a e-commerce business model. So it is utilizing digital platform and technology to sell products or services online. For example, electronics or fashions. And there are three critical business processes. There are next slide. So there are, which is first one, product listing and inventory management processes. So this will involve a product's availability for sales on e-commerce platform, and also ensuring accurate inventory levels. So the data required are product details, pricing information, stock levels and availability, product attributes, and supplier information. So the data life cycles are data entry, for example, product managers and suppliers. And the second one is data processing, where the inventory management system and also product information management system will be. And the data storage is data service, sorry, and cloud storage. And the last one is data retention. It is system administrator. Next. So the second one is order processing and fulfillment process. And this involves customer orders, processing payments, and also ensuring timely delivery of products. So for this process, the data required are customer details, order details, payment information, say shipping method and courier details, and also order status update. And data life cycles are for the first one is data entry. So where customers and orders are fulfillment stuff. So data processing is the order management system, payment gateway. Data storage are data servers and cloud storage. And data retentions are system administration and also compliance officers. Next. And the third one is customer relationship management processes, and this involves interactions, building relationship and providing personal customer support. So for this data required are customer details, customer interactions and communication history, customer preference and interest, feedback and reviews, and the data life cycles are data entry, we have customer support staff. Data processing, we have customer relationship management software and customer support tools. Data storage, we have data servers and also cloud storage. And data retention, we have compliance officers and system administrations. So securing the data life cycles for critical business. Also, it's from the three critical business. So I'm going to explain this in the next slide. So for the first one, product listing and inventory management processes. So there are implement access controls, which is a role-based access control. We will assign specific roles and permission to authorize their personal details. So use encryption. So encrypted, you have to encrypt certain sensitive data, for example, product information, pricing, and also supplier details, and so on. And regular system updates and patching is to keep product listing and inventory management system up to date. And backup and disaster recovery is to back up each product by listing and inventorying data. So um, if any data has been deleted or erased, so we have a backup plan in a file. Next slide. The second one is order processing and fulfillment process. So the secure payment processing, we use a trusted and secure payment gateway, uh, which is integrate with a repeated payment gateway provider, and data encryption and access controls are encrypt sensitive customer data. So this is to implement encryption for customer details and so on. And the second one is role-based access control. So as what I said, we need to assign certain details to log in to our system. For example, personal details, secure ordering, tracking, and delivery. We have to use secure shipping and also tracking system. So it basically, yeah, we have to use secure shipping and also tracking system. And the second one is customer verification for deliverers. We have to measure to verify customer identity upon the delivery. Next is a data backup and disaster recovery. We need to have backup orders and also customer data. And next one is implement a disaster recovery plan where we need to develop a comprehensive plan to address potential disputes in the order processing and fulfillment system and so on. Next slide. So the third one is customer relationship management process. So the incident monitoring, we have the first is logging and monitoring. So we are unable to log in and monitoring the machines to track our user activities. Data backup and validation. We need to have a data backup. So the regular backups of a customer data to ensure data integrity and availability. And the next is data validation and quality checks. We need to check the data quality and also validate checks. For example, information. Compliance with data protection regulations, we have to obtain proper consent. Basically, we have to ensure that the collection and processing of customer data are compliant with applicable data protection. And the last is employee training and awareness, where we will provide comprehensive training to employees to have access to customer data, and so on. So I'll pass this to Tan Wei Chun.
I'm Tam Wei Chun. Now I'm going to continue the presentations. So now we are going to look at the personal categorizations. Okay, so for the data processor, in this section, the data processor means the person who are responsible for processing or manipulating the data in computer system or database. So for the example system, administrator. So the next one is the data user. The data user means that the people who are consumed or use data to perform their jobs duties or achieve the specific objectives. So for example, the suppliers, the product managers, or the fulfillment staff, and the customer support staff. So the last data is the data subjects. That means the who is the subject of personal data that is being collected, processed, stored, or otherwise handled by an organization or entity. So the customer are the example for data subjects. So now we go into the next slide. And now we are talking about the mapping of PDPA requirements to data life cycles. So the first data is the data entry. The requirement is the obtain the consent from data subject for the collection and use their personal data. And then the compliant is implement a consent management system that allow data subject to give or withdraw their consent easily. So the penalty for non-compliant is fine of up to 500,000 or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years above. Next is the data processing. So the requirement is that ensure that the personal data is processed fairly and lawfully. And its compliant is provide adequate training to staff involved in data processing to ensure that they handle the personal data in compliance. And its penalty for non-compliant is fine or up to 300,000 imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years above. And then we go to the next slide. And the third is the data retentions. Right, so its requirement is ensure that the personal data is securely disposed of after the retention period expires. Its compliant is develop and implement a data retention policy that specifies the period for which personal data will be retained. And its penalty for non-compliant is fine of up to 100,000 or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 1 year or both. And last data is the data storage. And its requirement is ensure that the personal data is kept secure and confidential. And then compliant is implement a technical measure to protect personal data from unauthorized access, disclosure, and misuse. And the penalty for non-compliant is fine of up to 500,000 or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years or both. So now we're going to the topic is securing a database system, the best practice and measures. So the first the best practice and measure is the data firewalls. We implement a database firewall to monitor the database system based on user authentications, SQL queries, and other criteria. And also, we will implement the host-based firewalls. This firewall can control access to the server based on specific criteria such as the IP address, ports, or protocols. The next practice and measure is the database encryptions. To protect the data from unauthorized access, the database should be encrypted as secure encryption algorithms and key management. The practices should be implemented to ensure the protection of the encryption keys. So the next practices and measure is the access control. So we will implement the strict access control policies to ensure that only the authorized personnel can access the database systems. And also we will use the two-factor authentication for all users to prevent unauthorized access. And the next practice is the database auditing. We will implement the database auditing to track user activity and detect the unauthorized access attempts. For example, use the intrusions detection systems and security information and event management to monitor the database systems and generate the alert in the event of a security incident. So the next practices and measure is the backup and recovery. So we will implement the regular backups of the database to ensure that the data is not lost in the event of the system failure or attack. So to achieve this, we will use the cloud the cloud service to implement a remote backup systems. In addition, using a cloud services offer advantages such as a high availability and real-time accessibility. And the last practice and measure is the training and awareness. So we need to train the personnel on data security best practice and raise the awareness about the importance of data security. So for example, like encourage the personnel to report any suspicious activity or security incidents to the IT teams. And these are our presentations. Thank you very much.